We all want perfect homemade pizza. But does fresh versus frozen dough actually make a difference? Here's a fact. Freezing dough can kill up to 50% of the yeast before you even begin baking. When those yeast cells die, they release a chemical called glutathione that actively weakens your dough. The result is a sticky, slack dough that tears easily, the opposite of a perfect pizza base. We'll show you the science of this damage, a surprising truth about taste, and how to make frozen dough perform perfectly. First, the ideal. Fresh dough has 100% of its yeast active, creating complex flavors and a powerful rise. By contrast, freezing immediately disrupts the gluten network, the structural backbone of your dough. With half the yeast gone, fermentation is sluggish. This means less oven spring for a light, airy crust. So the initial case is clear. Freezing damages yeast and gluten. But what's the microscopic culprit? The real enemy inside your dough isn't the cold itself, it's the ice. As water freezes, it forms sharp, jagged crystals. These crystals act like microscopic knives, literally puncturing yeast cells and shredding the gluten network. This damage is why thawed dough feels tough. Studies show each freeze-thaw cycle increases hardness and kills springiness. You can make this damage far worse. Rapid thawing, like in a microwave, maximizes the destruction. The best method is slow and gentle. Thawing overnight in the fridge minimizes temperature shock and damage. Look at the difference. The slow-thawed dough is elastic. The rapid-thawed one is slack. The final bake confirms it. So we know how to thaw it. But can you prepare dough before freezing to fight those ice crystals? The answer is yes. Before that, storage. Air is the enemy. Freezer burn ruins flavor. Wrap it tightly. Plastic wrap, then a freezer bag. The science seems to paint a bleak picture for frozen dough. But in the real world, the lines are much blurrier. Here's a shock. In blind taste tests, many people can't reliably tell the difference between fresh and properly handled frozen dough. That freshly baked bread from the supermarket? A huge portion of it is baked from frozen dough shipped to the store. What's more, the signature flavor of freshness is fleeting. Stalling begins almost immediately after baking. So if the industry uses it and we can't always taste it, what is the real secret to great dough? Remember our question about fighting ice crystals? Here is the answer. We manage them by controlling the ingredients. We know freezing kills up to 50% of the yeast. The fix is simple. Start with more. Use 1.5 to 2 times the normal amount. Ice crystals shred gluten. We can protect it. Certain dough improvers can help strengthen the network and bind free water. And this may seem backwards, but a slightly drier dough is better for freezing. Less free water means fewer damaging ice crystals. So the ideal dough for freezing has more yeast and slightly lower hydration. It is a recipe designed for survival. Let's bring it all together. On paper, fresh dough is technically superior with its undamaged gluten and full yeast colony. However, a dough specifically formulated for freezing and then thawed correctly can produce nearly identical results. The real difference isn't between fresh and frozen. It's between a well-made dough and a poorly made one. If you are using fresh dough, concentrate on proper fermentation to develop those flavors that make it worthwhile. If you are freezing dough, use the pro tips. Add more yeast, wrap it tight, and always, thaw it slowly. Now you understand the science. You're not just following a recipe, you're controlling the outcome at a cellular level. The ultimate test is in your kitchen. Make a batch of freezer-ready dough and do a blind taste test with your family. Because whether it starts fresh or frozen, the goal is the same, bringing people together over a delicious homemade pizza.